special accounts, total special levies, stroke accounts, 135 billion naira. Those in favor that this schedule remains part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Part B, aid, grants, and restructured loans. Aid and grants, your foreign aid, stroke grant in cash, restructured existing loans, total aid and grants and restructured loans amounts 45 billion 627 million 660,000 naira only. Those in favor that non-debt expenditure, headquarters, police formations and commands, Ministry of Defense, Defense Headquarters, Nigerian Army, Nigerian Navy, Nigerian Air Force, Office of the National Security Advisor, National Intelligence Agency, service-wide votes, public service wage adjustment. Total current non-debt 123 billion 332 million 174,164 naira only. Those in favor that this stands part of the schedule say aye. Comments? You are supposed to vote, not comment. But you can say what you want to say, distinguished.
Mr. President, my name is Senator Ekunifeyom, representing Anambra Central. Mr. President, my comment is on the recurrent expenditure. Mr. President, if I take you to page 1 of the recurrent page, you're there now. This is aggregate of what you have here. You have not passed it. Yes, I'm commenting on that. That is why I'm referring you to the monitoring and evaluation, which forms part of what we are going to pass now. I'm taking you to page 1 of the supplementary budget proposal. It is aggregate of what we have here, you have on this page. If we pass here, we're not going to come to this one anymore. I just want to bring your attention to it. Okay.
We are coming back to the clauses. We start with the schedules. The process is the procedure. So those in favor of the total recurrent non-debt. No, I think we have passed that. Part D, capital expenditure. Part D, let me put the total recurrent again. Ministry of Police Affairs, Headquarters, Police Formations and Commands, Ministry of Defense, Defense Headquarters, Nigerian Army, Nigerian Navy, Nigerian Air Force, Office of the National Security Advisor, National Intelligence Agency, service-wide votes, public service wage adjustment. Total recurrent non-debt, 123 billion 332 million 174,164 naira. Those in favor that this remains part of the rule say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Part D, capital expenditure, Police Affairs, Ministry of Police Affairs, Police Formations and Commands, Ministry of Defense, Defense Headquarters, Nigerian Army, Nigerian Navy, Nigerian Air Force, Defense Space Administration, Defense Intelligence Agency, Ministry of Interior, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Office of the National Security Advisor, Office of the National Security Advisor Headquarters, Department of State Services, National Intelligence Agency, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, National Agency for the Control of AIDS, NACA, Federal Ministry of Health, Molecular Laboratory Equipment to Hospitals, National Orthopedic Hospital, Igbobi 300 million, National Eye Center, Kaduna 3 million, National Care Center, National Air Care Center, Kaduna, National Fistula Center, Abakaliki, National Fistula Hospital, Katsina, National Fistula Hospital, Sokoto, Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Calabar, University of Nigeria Teaching Hospital, FMC Asaba, Annex, Aniocha, and FMC Unguru. Capital supplementation, procurement and installation of new oxygen plants nationwide and repairs of oxygen plants in FCT hospitals. Vaccines procurement cost, federal government of Nigeria funding $298,500,000, 298,000, is it thousand? The way it's written here, a zero is missing. 10 is missing. $298,500,000 or 29.85 million. That should be, Chairman, this 29.85 million, is it in dollars? Okay, this is total number of vaccines, doses. Okay, 29.85 million J&G vaccines under AVAT 45% plus 10% markup. Total capital expenditure amounts to 859,397,521,179 naira only. Those in favor that this stands part of the schedule say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The aggregate expenditure is 982,729,695,343 naira only. Those in favor that this stands part of the schedule say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Then we go to the clauses. Page 2. The clauses are on page 2. Page 2. Those in favor that clause 1 stands part of this bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 2. Release of funds from the Consolidated Revenue Fund. Those in favor that this clause stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 3. Environment. Those in favor that clause 3 stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 4. Interpretation. Those in favor that this clause stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The short title. Those in favor that the short title stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The explanatory memorandum on page 6. Explanatory memorandum on page 6. Those in favor that this clause stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. And of course, the long title, which is on page 1. The long title is on page 1. Those in favor that the long title stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, I rise to move a motion for the chair to report progress. I so move.
Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor that the Senate reverse the plenary for the chair to report progress say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The Senate in the Committee of Supply considered the report of the Committee on Appropriations on the Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2021 and approved as follows. Part A, total special levies accounts as recommended. Part B, Schedule Part B, total aid grants and restructured loans as recommended. Schedule Part C, total recurrent non-debt expenditure as recommended. Schedule Part D, total capital expenditure as recommended, aggregate expenditure as recommended, explanatory memorandum as recommended, short title as recommended, long title as recommended. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? on Committee of Supply? Thank you. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, I rise to a motion that this bill be read the third time.
Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that this Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2021 be now read the third time, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act authorized the issue from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation of the total sum of 895,842,465,917 naira only, of which 173,445,506,664 naira only is for recurrent non-debt expenditure, while the sum of 722,396,955,99,253 naira only is for contribution to the Development Fund for capital expenditure for the year ending on the 31st day of December 2021, SB 754, third reading.
A bill for an act to authorize the issue from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation the total sum of 895,842,465,917 naira only, of which 173,445,506,664 naira only is for recurrent non-debt expenditure, while the sum of 722,396,959,253 naira only is for contribution to the Development Fund for capital expenditure for the year ending on the 31st day of December 2021. Third reading taken and the bill is passed. Well, congratulations, but this is only one step of the entire process. Our committees on security agencies particularly, and the committees on health-related MDS. This budget, this supplementary budget, is targeted at addressing the security challenges in this country, and of course, the procurement, administration, and management of the COVID-19 vaccines. We expect our committees, the relevant committees, to be stiff, to be alive to their responsibilities for oversighting on how these funds will be deployed prudently. It is very important that we have a review of the application of these funds before we pass the 2022 appropriation bill. But this is a very necessary intervention by this National Assembly, particularly this Senate, and indeed the administration in the country here, that this is necessary for us to do. And we should continue with funding of our security agencies in 2022 appropriation bill, because we have to overcome the security challenges our country faces. Thank you very much. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleague, the second order of the day is the presentation and consideration of the report of the Committee of Local and Foreign Debt on the external borrowing of 2.343 trillion, that is about 6.183 billion US dollars, in the 1921 Appropriation Act through the issuance of Eurobond in international capital market. The two good senators will recall that the budget of Mr. President Commander-in-Chief was referred to the committee on Tuesday, 1st June 2021. Mr. President, you may wish to invite distinguished Senator Clifford Odia to move the motion to receive and consider this.
Distinguished Senator Clifford Odia, Edo Central.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, my very distinguished colleagues. I am Senator Clifford Odia. I represent Edo Central District. I rise, Mr. President, to move the motion that the Senate do receive and consider the report of the Committee on Local and Foreign Debt on the request for a resolution authorizing the implementation of the external borrowing of 2.343 trillion, about $6.183 billion in the 2020 appropriation Act through the issuance of Eurobond in the international capital market. I so move, Mr. President.
I need a seconder. Distinguished Senator Bima Mohamed Enagi.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Senator Bima Mohamed Enagi. I represent the people of Niger South from Niger State. I rise to second the motion that the Senate do receive and consider the report of the Senate Committee on Local and Foreign Debts. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that the Senate do receive and consider the report of the Committee on Local and Foreign Debt on the request for a resolution authorizing the implementation of the external borrowing of 2.343 trillion, about $6.183 billion in the 2021 Appropriation Act through the issuance of Eurobond in the international capital market. Say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Chairman, please lay the You may present the report, please.
Mr. President, my very distinguished colleagues, this is a report by the Committee on Local and Foreign Debt on the request of Mr. President for the resolution authorizing the implementation of the new external borrowing of 2.343 trillion naira, about $6.183 billion in the 2021 Appropriation Act through the issuance of Eurobond in the international market. The President of the Senate, Federal Republic of Nigeria, at this sitting on Tuesday, 1st June 2021, read a communication dated 6th May 2021 from the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, requesting for a resolution of the Senate authorizing the implementation of the new external borrowing by raising the sum of 2,343,387,942,848 naira, about $6.183 billion provided for the 2021 Appropriation Act through the issuance of Eurobond in the international capital market. The President's request is for authorization to raise $3 billion, but not more than $6.183 billion, being the U.S. equivalent of the above naira sum at 379 naira per dollar from three sources, namely multilateral, bilateral, and also from international capital market, ICM, through the issuance of Eurobond. The request is in consonance with the provision of sections 21(1) and 27(1) of the Debt Management Office Establishment Act, etc., 2003, and also with the provision of section 41(2) of the Fiscal Responsibility Act, 2007, mandate of the committee. The committee was mandated by the Senate to consider the request of Mr. President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to raise the above sum to part finance the budget deficit in 2021 Appropriation Act, item number 330. Methodology. The task before the committee was to undertake a thorough screening of the terms and conditions of the loan from the international capital market, multilateral and bilateral institutions. The proposed terms and conditions attached to the new borrowing in the 2021 Appropriation Act from development agencies, providing the fund was used as a major tool for the committee in considering the request of Mr. President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. In the course of our assignment, the committee invited the following government functionaries. 1, Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning. 2, Director General, Debt Management Office. 3, the Governor Central Bank of Nigeria. Reference to working documents. The following reference to working documents were relied upon by the committee in the course of its assignment. 1, communication from Mr. President together with the attack terms and conditions of the proposed loan. 2, physical